Chris5258 here with a Barzkrieg Bop, something we haven't done in quite a I'm going to be going over my recent run on the most recent heretics that dropped in Global for Bartz's LDBT. Now here with an LDBT, I think I'm going to up. I'm going to be providing that commentary because a lot of the stuff that I've done in the run is kind of questionable. As you guys will kind of see, but there's reasons for it. Starting off, Ignis here is for that healing and potentially another attack or increase when the latter half of the fight gets kind of gets that major reduction. This is all initial setup. Ignis's LD for fire, enchant, and reduction. At least that's what the idea was. But right now, there's debuffs ain't there, so gotta roll with what we got. Terra does damage via her LD and just continues to dump in hopes to get to that that 80% threshold to where the orb falls off. It's basically a bum rush until then, with a huge. At this point, I'm looking to see if I should change anything else out as far as her set or use another LD, but I end up deciding to use a meltdown in order to try and break both. Only get one break and it doesn't screw me over, luckily. Bartz's LD for the wind. Decided to hold off on the Fujin call because the latter half of the fight is a hell of a lot longer with that orb as opposed to the very beginning. So. High Brave gains because I know they're gonna do pretty hard and rough ones. Almost so breaking her after that Brave, like 40,000. So. Or I just can't even realize my own thoughts. Because I decided to use that call anyway. With no real thought behind it. Okay, Wild Breath, he gets pushed back, which is fine. If I do as I think I should do, then Terra LD into taking advantage of that win. Imperil. Because it should keep the orb in lock for a long time, especially with Bartz being the other realm for attacks. Brave gain, I believe I have something for that. Okay. That could at least take care of one, and I probably continue to use the attacks to hit. Split both if need be because it's still AoE damage, but mainly target. Yep. That's about right. At least I'm not making so many bonehead calls. Because as I'm looking back at this, after doing. Yeah, some of the stuff, I don't know what I was thinking. No idea. That's normal. My apologies, it wasn't 80%, I thought it was. Bartz covers missile, it's a gravity shave. 6,000 ain't bad, I can even eat that if need be. Full Brave. overwhelmed because why not a full dump? That's an attempt to try and even out damage, even though we kind of all know that like a 10% difference. There's a slight shave in the ZX, and along with that, not a bad idea to use it because it's one of the faster EX. Not major as far as damage output, but when it takes damn near 2 turns to set up to repop, why not? Yeah, even with that that reduction, because because A still has a brave, it's not a big deal. It's basically the Kadaj fight all over. There's brave charges, so it gains do brave battery. Or not brave battery, do anything that is battery prior to the attack, so skill 1, not a whole lot of damage, but it's better than just wasting out the attacks. That is just to not waste skills. Crystal Idol, reduction to 0, and then get breaks with whatever skill I end up using. But that's fun. AoE damage for Ignis. I'm assuming that's what my thought was for that. And those reductions are kind of high because they're still in that aura. And Ignis is not an attacker, so he's doing what he can. He's doing what he can. And Bart's is still doing what he can because those auras matter a lot. Garland with a BT pop for high damage outputs, at least ideally. I definitely remember me making a big mistake here towards the very end of the fight, and it almost cost me. But as luck would have it, it doesn't. Probably just delay. At least that's what my thought was, but there is no delay at this point. You can still output damage all the way through. Finally learned how to use her skill usages, finally. Basically LD at the end before we beat it free turns out. Which before I definitely didn't know that. But it makes sense. I didn't realize at the time that they carried over outside of the BT, but setup's very similar to Lightning in that. This is just damage. Just damage. Which is fair enough. Not bad. Not bad. Get 200, over 200k hits. Still solid. Even while they have that That aura up, the red auras. Debuff removal again, all literally Kadaj is fine. Because one of these times soon, they're gonna get their high brave gains again, and that's what Bart's last LD. That auto break. All these going forward are going to be all done, I guess, with the recording of the video, I think, right now. I had the run recorded, and was kind of dead set on using it. Not only to upload to YouTube, which I normally do, but also take care of the Barzkrieg Bop, because I wanted to come back with it. For sure, and I know people had asked, and now that my schedule has freed up a bit, I can do these once more. Which feels good, because these were definitely, and I think back then we were doing Chaos. I was having the intent to work up to Lufenia. Right now, we're just jumping right into Lufenia and seeing where it goes. Probably just try and trigger A. Or, yep. For the threshold drop into high brave gain. Bart's this LD. There's your break. Good old Garland, you're just here for damage, buddy, at this point. And that's fun. You do your job well enough. Probably defense down drop, yeah. Arrow's just kind of tapped at this point, but she can still use skills, which is good. Just not none of her LD, probably last LD pop. Yep. BT effect is still up. For at least two more actions because of how he's set, but done for our purpose. Diablos does damage. Lovely, lovely. Not a whole lot, but something. Maybe next time I'll change out his weapon from the Choco Blade. I think even in the thumbnail he has the Choco Blade. I said as a joke because everybody loved Choco Blade at the time. Just because they're tired of seeing it. But we'll see. We will definitely see what we're doing. It'll be all clean up for the final part of the summon. Probably Meteor and Meteor B. Try and drop that one down and take care of only one at a time. Yeah, I don't think I'm mad for him up in that. Just trying to finish it out at the time to be done with it. But you guys will see the turn counter and everything here in a bit, and I'll just Lewis probably pop the LD or the last call just to get rid of it. Bart's can do missile the battery out. A was targeting her, so I was trying to ensure that she doesn't get blasted, because that probably would have killed. It almost killed Iggy. Thank God for his regroup, because that's a major heal. Just like it never ever happened. I think this is me just screwing around trying to set Iggy's EX at the time, yeah. To try and get a heavy hit on B. It didn't come, but it may come on the next set, if I said everything correctly. Yeah, regroup into it, call the EX out, drop it onto... Why did I drop it on A? Okay, well, I dropped it on A, I guess. Interesting, I can't even predict my own, like I said, it's difficult to predict even my own thoughts, now looking back at the actual footage. This should break? Yep. Parts will do literally anything, so skill 2 is fine. Another heavy hit, probably the same here. Iggy does regroup once again. Thank God for those heals, because that could have been terrible. I think I was attempting to set another EX and then just, I believe, gave up. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. I was like, oh, can I get it? No, I can't get it. Hoping that AoE takes that B. It didn't. Damage was just a little too low at the time. Now this was that risky move I was talking about. A can trigger and kill, because now she doesn't have much for Brave. Thank God that missed though. That evasion is major. Because without it, we would have ended right there. Bartz, do what you do, buddy, and finish it out. All in all, a solid run and a nice way to come back to Barzkrieg Bop. And 57 turns, which ain't bad. Not the greatest of runs, but it does work. I appreciate you guys watching this, and feels good to be back at Barzkrieg Bop. Take care, everyone.